What's your story? What's your sign? It's like we're twin flames in a different life. Deep connection lights a spark. It's like you know me in the depths of my heart. We're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. We live it like this could be our final day. We're dreamers. Don't care what the others say. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive in the nighttime. It's something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. We come alive.
Hi guys, and welcome to this week's video. Over the weekend I went with a friend up to the National Equine Show. I must admit I didn't actually get any footage. I was too busy trying to not be seduced to buy too much. It's not very much I actually need, but anything I have bought I do feel that it's quite practical. So I thought the first part of this video I'd just go through what I picked up in my little haul from the National Equine Show, and then the plan is to take little Buck for a long rein along the lane. This will be his first time out along the lane here. Like I sort of keep saying, he is backed. I did see him ridden when we went to view him, but I've sort of taken everything back to sort of almost the beginning and just started again with him, mainly so that he can get sort of used to how I do things, because we all do things slightly different, and get used to my sort of voice commands, and yeah, go from there really, because not in any rush, like I keep saying. So today it will be his first time sort of walking along there. The plan is to have my dad out in front walking, because our lane is a little bit of a rat run, so I don't really want to be up there on my own. So he'll walk a little bit ahead and hopefully he'll get some footage from in the front. I have got a little camera that I'm planning on wearing. How good it will pick up the footage, it will mainly probably just get his bottom, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so that's the plan for today's video. So let's just have a quick run through on what I've picked up for the boys from the National Equine Show. So as you can see, I've got a little bit of a haul, but all practical. So this big 5 litre of wash here. I use this Botanica wash on Bo. It seems to sort of suit him quite well. He doesn't seem to get, his skin doesn't seem to react to it. So I do use quite a lot. So I bought a 5 litre of that, and also some of the cream that I am going through quite quickly at the moment, with the change of coat and him just suffering slightly. So that's their herbal cream. I bought some of that from Your Horse Live last year, so I've been using it sort of quite regularly since then. Went on to Smart Grooming. I've been after a thinning or levelling knife, they call it, don't they, for some time. Sort of been looking at them. Last time I did Bo's mane, I used part of my Clifford Blade set, but this is actually designed, if I can get it out, for the job. This is a folding one, and I'm really quite sort of looking forward to being able to tidy their manes up with that, because neither one of them overly like having their manes sort of fiddled around too much with, so certainly wouldn't want them pulled. This is a second. It's just got a tiny little mark, you can hardly see it, on the wooden handle, but yeah, looking forward to having a bit of a practice with that. I think Buck's mane will probably be the first one to have a go. And then I went on a stand that I've never been on before. It's been a long time since I've been in the show ring. So this is from Show Pony Prep, and I picked up a tail bag for each of them. Hopefully these will keep the tails nice and clean, although the weather seems to be sort of improving. Spring finally feels like it's sort of here. I don't know if I want to say here, but definitely on its way. So yes, their tails have been disgusting this winter, so I've actually decided to get some tail bags so that I can keep them nice and clean, because it hasn't done their tails that much good. I've been constantly washing them, which I don't think is ideal. So they got one each. I've currently got their tails plaited, but whether I'll be able to sort of ride with those, I'm always a bit worried, if particularly Bo, because he can be a bit funny sometimes. If he hits himself with it, he's going to think I've done it and be really, really grumpy with me. But yes, so I'm sure they'll get plenty of use, even through the summer after they've had their tails washed. Now, I like to keep my reflective stuff really sort of quite up to date, so I'm always sort of looking at what's available. I've had a lot of Equilites products in the past. I use their headbands with the little LED light, which I find fantastic, even just getting up to the yard in the evening. Poo picking in the field, which I always seem to leave right to the end of the day, last job. I suppose I keep putting it off. So yes, I've used up quite a bit, and I've also got their pink tabard sort of hung up there. That's a slightly older style, but I'm very, very pleased with that. So what I've got this time is, this is a fleece cover for my breastplate. I've got, well, it's a little bit like a bit of a Fairfax copy really, and that hopefully this sleeve will fit on that. It's got LED lights and this sort of yellow reflective tape, and it's sort of lovely fleece lined. So I'm hoping Bo will feel that's quite comfortable. I've got to charge up all the batteries before I can use it, but I think that will really sort of help us sort of stand out. Obviously I live by quite a busy road, a very busy road. We've got a dual carriageway next to us, although obviously I don't ride on that. I'm going to tip this bag out. And my friend was sort of talking about these and says they're fantastic. So yeah, easily, like I say, easily seduced. Got 2 clip-on lights. I also think they'll be very useful on the lorry if for any reason at night we need lights. Hope we never will, but you never know. They'll be great for that. I doubt they've got any charge in them. Like I say, I got a charge now. They won't actually switch on. They need charging up. Here I have their LED quarter sheet in a cob size, so I'm hoping that will fit both of them. I did sort of say I needed one between sort of 5'9" and 6'3" really. I don't mind if it's a little bit smaller on Bo, but I'll just get that out. So here we have, it's a mesh rug. It's yeah, it's a really good quality mesh actually, because I've had some mesh quarter sheets before and they've been so lightweight and flimsy, and they tear with the slightest well, brambles is my concern really. I have to ride down a path that in the summer gets quite overgrown, so only brambles tend to sort of rip mesh quite easily, but this feels really, really tough. It's well bound, and it's also got reflective piping on the binding, so all the way around, well just behind probably where your girth is, all the way around the back of the rug. You've got an LED strip right sort of back on the hindquarters, and again on the actual tail flap, which is also bound with some reflective piping as well, and LEDs on the other side as well. So it's going to give really good all-round visibility, no matter what the weather's like. Although they say it's a quarter sheet, it is more of a sort of wrap round exercise seat, I would say. It's got Velcro at the front, and then it's got this sort of silicone sort of grip panel to sit sort of underneath your leg. So that's a really good sort of addition. Obviously, I've got mono flat saddles, although excuse the state of the jump saddle, it needs a clean. I can sometimes tuck my sort of exercise sheets underneath the flap and on top of the actual panel, because it is just slightly separated, but obviously once it's girthed up, that all sort of clamps down. So yeah, I'm really quite sort of looking forward to for using this. I'm hoping I get quite a lot of use out of it. It's Velcro at the front, and it's also got like a fleece bit of lining underneath the Velcro, so that sort of means it shouldn't rub, because that's going to be sat sort of on the wither. So that's a really, really good addition as well. But overall, I'm really, really pleased with it. And like I said, I've had their products in the past, and yeah, they're still going strong. And really, really, really like them. It's definitely a sort of company I follow, what their sort of new products are. I was tempted by their breastplate, but as I've already got a breastplate, that would have been a bit of an extravagance that, yeah, didn't really need, because it'd be very rarely that both ponies would be ridden out. I'm hoping my friend will ride Bo out initially, so we can get sort of Buck's confidence out on the road, because like I say, it is quite busy. But in general, I end up riding on my own. So that's my little haul from the National Equine Show. It was a good show. I would certainly consider going again. Obviously, it depends what sort of trade stands they have there. I always have a look first before we sort of go to these sort of things. It was quite sort of reasonably priced to get in, although you do then have to pay parking to get out, which I wasn't aware of initially, but we did work that out luckily before we got back to the car. But that is just something to consider on top of your ticket price. But yeah, it was a good show, and I think hopefully it will perhaps grow again for next year. I think I was quite sensible on what I bought. I thought that the items are very sort of practical, and could even sort of say health and safety. So keep us safe out on the road, which is really, really important to me. And because yeah, we are on a very busy sort of stretch of road, and it just gets busier and busier every year. So if it can help me be seen and be safe, yeah, that's great. And I'm been looking for sort of a new sort of mesh exercise sheet, because I've got a sort of fleece lined one, but to be fair, Bo gets quite warm in that. It's all right sort of in the middle of winter, although if it's wet and raining, I don't tend to hack out anyway, because the visibility is just so bad that I don't see it's worth it, and I don't want to get everything sort of soaking wet. Bo doesn't want to be out in it either, so a mesh one, for hopefully I can use that through the summer as well, keep some flies off him. So I'm very pleased with my little purchases. Right, so it's now time to take Buck for a little walk along the lane. So I'm gonna sort of get him sort of ready, and then my dad's gonna take over filming, and hopefully we'll get some footage of him walking along the lane for his first sort of trip out. Obviously he has hacked out where we got him from. I did sort of see him walk down their road, and he was very good, very, very wobbly, but yeah, he was a good boy. But like I said, I just want to sort of take everything in very slow stages, which is what we've been doing, and he is growing in confidence, his balance is getting better, before I even consider sort of getting on and doing it all under saddle. But we're certainly sort of progressing along. He seems to quite enjoy his little bit of work, because we went to the show on Saturday. Sunday he then got to get back out in the field, because he stayed in all day Saturday when my husband was looking after them, because he finds it a bit tricky sometimes with Bo. He can be a little bit he's not the best with other people. If he thinks he can push his luck, he will. So they stayed in on Saturday, which I don't think they were overly overjoyed about because it was a nice day. So Sunday they got to go back out in the field, and yes, Buck had a lot of energy to get rid of, bless him, because the plan was to on Sunday take him for a little walk along the lane, but yeah, I decided to turn him out because I thought, don't really want to push my luck too much. If he's got some energy that he needs to expel and have a bit of a play, which he certainly did out in the field. Bo was didn't really want to get involved, although Buck was trying desperately to try and get Bo to play with him. He's quite sweet. He seems very happy, and he certainly loves being out in the field. My poor field doesn't love him the same way because he is doing a very good job at turning it into a bit of a quagmire, basically. It's still quite wet. Unfortunately, we're at the bottom of a slope, so it gets a bit mucky. But hopefully, if we can have sort of a dry week, it will start to dry out. But we are going to go for our little walk now, and then he can go out in the field and have another play. So right, let's go and get him ready. So we're just getting ready to go. I've got my sort of reflective bits and pieces on, and Buck's got the saddle on today. So he's wearing my Bates Advanta. He's got an Ember saddle pad, so we're clashing a little bit in colours, but as long as we're seeing, we don't mind too much today. And it doesn't make that much difference, although I like to be a little bit matchy-matchy, as you probably noticed. I've got my stirrup irons on. I know a lot of people would probably put the long reins through the stirrup irons, but as I've got safety ones, as you can see, if I put the lines through there, they're just going to come out. So I've got this little attachment down here. I can get it in shot. There we go. With a little carabine on that I can just put the long lines through, and that keeps them all nice and secure. He's got a little grip pad on underneath his saddle pad. As you can see, he's molting terribly, but this is just to give the saddle a little bit more stability. I just felt a couple of times when I've sort of been leaning over, it's just a little bit wobbly, shall we say, because he's got like puppy fat, whereas Bo's muscles are all quite sort of firm in some ways. Yes, little Buck here it's got a bit of young puppy fat, haven't you? So everything's a bit wobbly, bless him. So that just gives the saddle a little bit of stability, a little bit of grip, without it being really, really sticky like some of the gels. So that's quite sort of forgiving. It's getting covered in hair at the moment, really, but hopefully that will just help with that. I have been advised not to use these sort of satin finish saddle pads as well, so he's got a slightly different finish saddle pad on order, but just for this that should be fine. So he's ready to go. I think he knows something's going on as well. He wants to get going, so I'll get the long lines on, pass the camera over to my dad, and we'll get on our little walk.
Oh, I've dropped the carrot, Ali. Did you get it? Yeah.
So we're back from our little walk. Yeah, it was a very active walk. It certainly wasn't a stroll. My poor dad obviously walks a bit slower, so I had to keep asking him to halt and just wait so my dad could get ahead a little bit more. And to be fair to Burke, he really did improve on being asked to halt and wait. Initially he was very sort of impatient, but yeah, he's a very, very good boy. didn't spook at anything. We didn't meet any traffic, which was quite nice actually, although we do need to perhaps see some going forwards, and I'm sure we will. It's unusual not to meet anything, but we were quite lucky in that postman had already been this morning, because I must admit he does drive the lane a little bit fast, so it was quite nice knowing that we weren't going to meet him. He's now a bit tired, or do you want to actually go out in the field now, don't you? He's a bit like, I'd like to go out in the field, but I'm going to have a little snooze and just process it all. Yeah. Oh, baby buck, is it a bit too much for your brain? Bless him. Really, really pleased. Hopefully this week we'll do a little bit more. It's supposed to be nice this week, so take advantage of it while we can and see what we can do at the weekend. Whether we can have a little sit on, we'll see. But yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying sort of playing with him and we're just sort of getting used to each other, really, aren't we, Buck? Yeah. Oh, he's tired. I better put him out in the field while he's sleepy, because then, bless him, Bo might get a bit of peace and quiet. He's tired. No, you woken up again. You're a clever boy. I think you know it as well, don't you? You're a very happy pony, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah. Are you going to be thinking that when I'm sat on you? Yeah. We'll see. Good boy. Yeah. So no, we didn't meet any cars. We saw some sheep, and he did have a little bit of a look at those. But I like to give him a chance to have a look and suss things out. And then as soon as I asked him to sort of walk on, he did. So he was a very, very good boy. So it's first time off the yard, wasn't it? Yeah, all by your lonesome. Yeah, you're a good boy. Yeah, you're a very good boy. Right, I better put him out in the field, and I'll see you guys again next week. Bye.